Namaskar. So, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is going to be visiting Pakistan. In fact, she's already in Pakistan today, and she's going to be the guest from United States in the swearing-in ceremony of the Shehbaz Sharif government. And from what we know, the foreign minister is going to be Bilawal Bhutto, the grandson of Bhutto, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. And his deputy is going to be Hina Rabbani Khan. Here's a very interesting thing here. Hina Rabbani Khan started out as the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs with somebody under somebody else. That somebody else quit. Then the post was vacant for some time. And then she became the foreign minister. And now she's back to being Bilawal Bhutto's deputy. I'm not saying this, but you should look up the two. There are some controversies surrounding them also. Well, what I see here is history repeating itself. It was under Zulfikar Ali Bhutto as a foreign minister that Pakistan decidedly took a turn for the worse, especially vis-a-vis Bangladesh, or what turned out to be Bangladesh. So let's just set that thing aside for a second. Why is Ilhan Omar here? Why isn't anybody else of substance from the United States representing the US? Or is she there in her personal capacity? We don't know, but we do know she will take some swipes at the Modi government, at India, at Hindus, and she will not say a single word about the atrocities to minorities being committed in Pakistan. Let's get this thing clear, folks. There's going to be no difference as far as the health, the safety and security of the minorities in Pakistan just because there is a new sheriff, pardon my pun, in town. But be that as it may, the establishment comes back again, tends to flex its arms, and you can be sure that another general will occupy the gaddi of Bajwa, and life will just go on. So now let's take a quick look at all the controversies surrounding Ilhan Omar and why I think that this move of Pakistan government to invite her, I don't know if they invited her or if she invited herself. I don't think she would have invited herself. They would have probably invited her. So let's just take a quick look at the different controversies that are surrounding Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar was born in Somalia in 1982. She landed in a refugee camp in 1991 in Kenya, and in 1995, she came to the United States as a refugee. Now, in 5 years, she becomes a US citizen. What a quick path here. See, this is where I have a bit of a beef with United States rules and regulations. Many students who come to the United States under study visa then go on to take up jobs, and then they get into what is called as an H-1 program that lasts for years. Then the company that they're working for sponsors them for a green card. Then there is an even longer wait. By the time they get their green card, from the time they land in United States, you're talking 22, 25 years. And yet, when you come in as a refugee, everything is fast-tracked. And to become a citizen, it's a further 5 years. You have to show that you lived for 5 years in the United States as a permanent resident before you become eligible for citizenship. Well, good for her. In 2000, she is already a US citizen. In 2002, she marries Ahmed Hirsi, and it's a Muslim marriage, meaning it is not recorded in the state records as far as civil marriage is concerned. Now, today, the way it works in the United States is you can have a Hindu wedding, you can have a Christian wedding, you can have a Muslim wedding. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the wedding has to be recorded in the state, whether it is city hall. There's a process for this. Every state has a process. It's slightly different from state to state. What is important is that you have to make your marriage official. So usually what happens is the marriage takes place and somebody is ordained as a person who's going to say, I declare these two, I certify under oath that I am declaring these two as a husband and wife. Then he signs it, and then that gets certified and uploaded to the city administration, and that becomes your record, because that is used in case there is any investigation happening afterwards when you are filing taxes or property rights, what have you. So establishment of marriage is a very important thing. So what has happened in 2002 is she had a Muslim marriage, but she did not report it to the authorities. Next, she divorces 𝗣𝗂𝘂𝗀𝘀 in 2008. Why, you ask? Watch the next slide. This is where things get really interesting. In 2009, she marries her own brother, 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀, and this is an official marriage, meaning that the marriage certificate exists for this. And you know why? Because she wanted him as well as herself to go and study at the state's expense. So they both enrolled in North Dakota State University, and along with them, the former husband 𝗣𝗂𝘂𝘀 and her two children. Everybody comes and stays in the same dorm from where both Ilhan and her brother, new husband, are getting their degrees. So there is a lot of interesting stuff that happens here. Very difficult to explain what happened, but the divorce happens again in Muslim way right after they finish their degrees. So one could say, wait a minute, all this was done as a sham so that she could bring him in to the United States, get him a green card, then they both go to NDSU, they get their degrees there, and then immediately after that, purpose served, he has got his own degree and he's got a green card, boom, I'm hereby divorcing you. But how does it work? See, Ilhan Omar's family is three sisters and one brother. So she ended up marrying her own brother. Same husband, same father, same mother. There are no stepmother stuff here, nothing, just straight. And how does that work? How does that work? She's yet to give an explanation on what exactly happened there. Now, what happens? In 2012, she reunites with her first husband, 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀, and has a third child. And in 2016, she's elected a congresswoman in the state of Minnesota. Not in the US Congress, but in the state of Minnesota. And then I guess somebody tells her, hey, listen, you need to clean up a lot of these things. You can't just have airy-fairy stuff. So remember, she got married with 𝗚𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀 in 2009. That is the legal marriage. That is registered in the archives in the state of Minnesota. Then she formally divorces him in 2017. So Hisab Barabar, right? Married, divorce. So in 2018, she marries her original husband in a city wedding and records that. Now, what happens? She also becomes a congresswoman for the first time in 2018, and she has again become a congresswoman in 2020. In 2018, she goes to Congress, and she is having this political consultant called Tim Minett, with whom she has an affair. And once this becomes public, Mr. 𝗣𝗂𝘂𝘀𝘀 officially divorces her again. So in 2019, she is divorced from her first husband. And in 2020, she marries this Tim Minett person. And there is another lawsuit going on between him and his ex-wife. That's a matter for a different day. So what are all the charges on which Ilhan Omar could be prosecuted? I'm not saying will be, but these are all the different things that don't add up. And I'm going to give you a bunch of explanation references. You can take a look at it. It's much researched topic. This is the first time maybe all of you are coming to know about it, but this is a well-researched topic. Perjury, that means lying. Second, immigration fraud. I told you what the immigration fraud was, to bring in her own brother in an illegal way. Marriage fraud, because remember I told you there was one marriage and there's a second marriage in between, then this goes away, this comes in. God, my head spins. Then there is federal and state tax fraud. What is that? Because when you are filing taxes, and if you're filing taxes jointly, you get a lot of benefits. Then if she married, let's go back to the first screen here. If she married 𝗚𝗚𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 as a Muslim marriage, basically then that is not recognized by the state. So then she cannot file joint taxes. So what happens there? So there are many such questions. The federal also is a crime, state also, because you file two separate sets of taxes, one for the federal and one for the state. So there is a problem there. Then when she brought her own brother in and married and they went to school at NDSU, this is basically built on lies. That could be student loan fraud because they got a lot of benefits for doing all these things. And then the most important thing, bigamy, which is being married to more than one person at the same time. So all these things are still swirling around. We don't know what the status of investigation at the Federal Bureau of Investigation is. We don't know. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And do not forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.